Hey guys, my name is Przemek Chojecki and I'm coming back with new content. It's been quite a while since I recorded the last video. I'll be talking more about learning data science, learning machine learning, and then other stuff around generally how to do research, how to start your own business, and something on the verge of business and research, machine learning, and more. And this episode is basically about how to learn in general, and I want to make it as this short intro into learning, because learning anything is actually the crucial ability you can get, and this is basically the goal of going to the university. So if you've been to the university, you can say already that you know how to study, how to learn. If you haven't been, there's still nothing wrong with that, and you can basically get this skill by yourself. But even if you went to the university, there are still many things you need to learn how to learn, and the goal of this video is basically to point you to some of those things. So basically learning means first of all getting new knowledge, then getting maybe an intuition about this new domain that you're learning, and then the next thing is you get the knowledge actually how to apply this in real life scenarios. So to give you an example, if you were to learn mathematical concepts, then basically if you were to learn what is a triangle, then you might start with a definition of like three vertices joined by edges, then you might see a drawing of that, so that's a practical use case, and then you might start to try to understand it deeper, going with the properties of triangles, learning about the different features, what is possible, and so on. So this kind of approach to learning, where you go from theory to practical applications, is really what I'm trying to do always, sometimes going also from the other way around. So starting with practical applications, trying to grasp the shape of the triangle, so to speak, and then going into the theory and then back. So mostly it's this process of actually refining your knowledge. So you're starting with new concepts that you don't understand. That can be anything from neural network to what is blockchain, to mathematical concepts you might get in school, in your work, and then you try to refine your knowledge. You basically keep asking questions, and this process of asking questions is the most important in the learning process. So the more questions you ask, the better, because you'll get to refine your knowledge and you get to learn much more about the particular subject. And in the end, if you want to have deep knowledge, then it's basically all about asking more and more questions about specific subjects. So I could ask about triangles: what are the edges, what are the vertices, what happens if I start twisting them, can I twist them, what's the geometry behind triangles, what are the equations that describe them, can I approach that in different, say, numerical systems, like periodic numbers, what happens then, and so on. So there might be many different questions. Some will lead you astray, some will lead you deeper into the subject, but the general approach to learning is basically asking questions and then being patient in finding answers, because this is definitely true about any kind of research, that you won't be able to find your answers right away. So the crucial thing is really to have patience and just keep on asking questions, looking for the answer, and then asking other people for the possible answers. So coming to the second thing is the social environment of learning. Of course, you have to learn the stuff by yourself, but it's really good idea to actually find mentors, maybe find people online or offline that can guide you in your process of getting the knowledge. So ideally, if you, for example, learning mathematics, then you find a professor in mathematics or a PhD student or someone who's farther along the way than you and can point you to different issues that you might encounter and help you solve the problems. The same goes for business, the same goes for any kind of hobby you might take and you might want to learn around, like playing guitar. So it's really important to have this social context for learning, because once you have more people around you, for books also and courses are also fine, everything is fine, but sometimes you just need to be unblocked, unstuck by answer to your particular question that might be not covered in a book, and that's why you need this person to guide you. Of course, it all depends what you're trying to learn and in which places you will get stuck. It also depends on like your previous experiences. So having said that, what you have to remember is basically learning is all about asking questions, being patient in that, and then having people around you to support your journey as you go. Finally, what I wanted to mention when it comes to learning is that you shouldn't be scared about feeling stupid. This is the normal actually thing. I feel stupid from time to time whenever I pick up the new subject, whenever I learn new things. It's this feeling that you don't understand anything. There are people much smarter than you, and this feeling basically that you never get what they're talking about. And this is only temporary. So this is why patience is so important, because once you start really knocking your head on the particular subject, then basically at one point the understanding will come to you and you will understand how to approach the subject and how to progress within that subject. So that's why it's important to be really patient when asking questions and looking for the answers. And that's why also you shouldn't be scared to ask other people's. Most of them won't think that you're stupid in any way, maybe that you have limited knowledge, but it's natural, especially if you're starting learning a particular subject, that you might not know certain things, and you're on learning. You're here to be open, pick up the knowledge, and then ask more questions and more questions. And once you get to the level of an intermediary or an expert, you'll be able to provide answers to others on your own, and this will be an excellent feeling that you might get from learning, that you finally understood something and you can share the knowledge with others. So that's why it's also good to ask questions, because people on the other side who went through this journey you're taking might actually want to share their knowledge, because this will also mean to themselves that they are validated in their journey, that they really got the knowledge, they are able to explain it. Because the best way to learn yourself is to try to explain that knowledge to others. And you might have heard that about subjects at school, but that's also true about the business, about the hobbies, about anything you can learn actually. That if you're trying to teach others and you can do that well, then it means that you have understood the subject well yourself. On the other hand, if you can't really do it, and it's not for the reasons of the subject being super complicated, but if you have problem explaining a given subject to others, that might mean that you haven't understood it that well and you need to go back and study the basics once again. Having said that, that's all what I have on learning. I think it's like a very great knowledge, especially for people who are picking up to become a PhD students, or people who get into a new domain of business that they didn't have exposure to before that. Because in both of those contexts, I've went through this journey, and I probably will be doing that also many times more as I progress into other business domains. So it's super natural to get this skill and then use it in various contexts. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to the channel and see you in the next episode. This time it will be much faster than half a year to produce one thing.